Loss is something we all experience in our lives. Loss of a family member, sometimes of the furry variety, loss of a significant other, loss of a friend, a job, a home, a relationship, physical ability, mental ability. None of us will go through life unscathed. With this knowledge, we have to learn to accept our losses, to go through the stages of grieving until we reach that final phase and release that grief into the ether. But no matter how much it's talked about, no matter how much you prepare, acceptance is usually the hardest part. The last day of June explores loss, grieving, and the struggle to accept that which we cannot change. It does so through a puzzle of butterfly effect scenarios, each failed attempt increasingly frustrating for the character. Towards the end of the game, things become highly unstable, and you may find yourself questioning what actually happened. The opening scene shows a couple at the lake. They sit together as the woman draws in her sketchbook. It doesn't take long before bad weather sets in and the romantic outing is cut short. This is where tragedy strikes, but we don't know the cause right away. One could argue we don't know the cause until the very end. We play the majority of the game as the character who, nameless, is the husband. We only play a small part as the wife, who we can assume is June. In this quaint, picturesque neighborhood where they live, there are 4 other characters. The best friend, who is secretly in love with the husband of June, the hunter, who is a bit too willy-nilly with his hunting rifle, the kid, who is a bit of a menace but just wants someone to play with, and the old man, who seems to have good intentions for his neighbors. Every character presents an opportunity to fix the situation. But the further you go down the rabbit hole, the more you have to change to try to get this fix to work. And now it's time for a spoiler warning. We are now entering endgame spoilers, so if you wish to experience this short but impactful game for yourself, I suggest stopping here, playing it, and returning once you've seen it play out so you can share your thoughts. This might just be the game for you if you're trying to process a recent loss. Just be aware that it will likely trigger painful memories before you feel better. It is when you play through the old man scenario that things begin to unravel, and I started to feel like my theory of who was dead could be true. Scribbling through pictures, sobbing and muttering with increasing frustration from June, but still, you play as the wheelchair-bound husband, hanging on to the notion that there must be something you can do to prevent June from getting the idea to go to the lake in the first place. And there is. But in a cruel, ironic twist, it is then the husband who makes the suggestion, once again proving the story's point that there are some things you cannot control. Before the moment of realization, the husband is flipping through June's sketchbook, finding pictures that are X'd and scribbled out. Pictures of all the neighborhood characters, the car, and themselves. This reinforces my belief about who died even further. The husband awakes to find himself back at the lake with his beloved June, and this time, he knows what he must do. He must take June's place in the passenger seat of the car, fated to crash, no matter what he does. In a touching but melancholy scene, June and her husband are briefly reunited, June cast in light, signifying life, and the husband cast in gray, signifying death. She gives him the gift that she intended for him to open at the lake. We never see what it is, but I think we can theorize. Then we flash forward to June at her husband's grave, quite visibly pregnant. It's important to stick around for the full ending, because if you don't, you will miss out on a rather telling achievement. Wait for it. Accepted the truth. The wording of this achievement is purposeful, and I believe its timing is too. My theory, which is not influenced by outside sources because I purposely avoided looking at what others theorized, is that the husband was the one dying all along. That the reason we hear the wife crying and screaming, the reason we find all of the pictures crossed out, is because all along she has been trying to change fate to save him. In the end, when he takes the passenger seat, it's not him letting go, it's her. Now that's just a theory based on some moments in the game and that achievement, but I think it's a pretty good one. As for the mysterious gift, we know that June asked the old man to make it, as he is the one who delivers it to her. We can see when he is packing the present that he has a wooden table and a number of hand tools hanging on the wall, including a hammer. We also see a grandfather clock to the right-hand side. Due to the windmill, he has large cogs inside the house, making it look like the inside of a clock. Every time we have to play out a scenario, it starts with the clock at the church. The essence of the game is manipulating time. so I believe that it is either a wristwatch or a pocket watch inside that gift box, but we never see its contents. This game is very small, but is jam-packed with emotions. It is impressive how much these characters, with no actual eyes or mouths, who don't speak words but rather make noises that sound like words, can make you feel. I think the visuals and the music play a big part. I played this not long after my cat's death, and although it made me sad at times, it was helpful in processing my grief. If this game helped you process a loss and you feel comfortable sharing, please put it in the comments. If you have theories about the game, put those in too. And finally, if you liked this video, please consider subscribing. We're on our way to 900 subs. Thanks for watching.